Good afternoon. My name is Alexander Winmore, and today I will be presenting my case study on Last Chance U, a Netflix series on Independence Community College and their daily struggles. The Indy football program is a collegiate football team that competes within a highly competitive athletic environment. The program emphasizes physical discipline, teamwork, and individual athletic performance. This study focuses on how different leadership styles and societal expectations related to masculinity and power affect player behavior, identity, performance within the team. The Indy football program is an ideal case study for exploring how leadership dynamics and disciplinary power intersect with traditional concepts of masculinity in a high-stakes competitive environment. The structure of the program, which includes various styles of leadership and a strong focus on athletic performance, presents a unique opportunity to investigate these influences. Understanding the balance of power and leadership will offer insight into team cohesion, player identity information, and overall performance. My research questions were, how does disciplinary power and masculinity shape player behavior, identity, and performance within the program? The second one was, in context of the Indy football program, how does the mix of authoritarian and participative leadership styles affect the cohesiveness of the team as well as the performance of individual players? My normative and interpretive theoretical framework. The Indy football program shape player behavior and identity. Disciplinary power focuses on ways institutions such as sports organizations regular behavior through surveillances, norms, and punishment. With the football team, players are subjected to both internal and external expectations, which are reinforced through coaching strategies, training regimens, and media portrayals of masculinity. Disciplinary power within the Indy football program shapes behavior by imposing strict norms about athletic performance and conduct. Masculinity plays a central role in this, as players are often expected to display physical strength, emotional stoicism, and dominance. These behaviors are frequently reinforced by coaches and teammates, creating a system where players learn to value toughness over vulnerability and individual achievement over team dynamics. My critical theory that was applied, I applied a critical theory of masculinity to explore how traditional masculinity norms affected identity and behavior. Masculinity in sports, particularly football, often defined by aggression, physical dominance, and emotional restraint, hitting each other, yelling, screaming, blood, sweat, tears, which can be marginalized players who do not conform these expectations. The interplay of authoritarian leadership, which often enforces strict rules, and participative leadership, which involves player input, can either support or challenge these masculine norms. So this is basically like a clash between two players or two leaders or two coaches or two people of I can say some kind of authority. I would say like a leader on the team. I've had an incident where I've been on a football team where we were having a good season. We came into the season hot. We were 4-1 coming into the season. We had lost our 5th game, and then we won another game, and then we went on a 3-game losing streak. And basically, one of our captains stood up in a meeting and told the head coach that we weren't really rocking with what he had going on, and his masculinity and his emotional labor that he was putting us through was just too much for the team to bear. And as a leader, he felt like it was his job to say something, and coach didn't take it well, and he put him out the meeting and basically used his authority over basically the captain's authority and wiped everything clean slate. The mix of authoritarian participative leadership within the Indy Pro football program creates a complex environment for players. On one hand, the authoritarian style maintains strict discipline and ensures cohesiveness and high-performing teams. On the other hand, participative leadership allows players to engage in decision-making, foster a sense of autonomy and inclusion. However, this mixed approach can sometimes create tension among players, especially when the authoritarian leadership conflicts with the more democratic approach, leaving players with a fragmented sense of identity. So it's basically repeating everything that I'm just saying, repeating everything that I just said about my own situation and my own opinion on it. Suggestions for improvement. My suggestions for improvement would basically be to give the players a voice, not just base the team off of what the coaches feel. I've been on the football team. I'm on one currently, and I can tell you that being in a environment where you feel like you have no authority, or it's a do it my way or the highway, it does bring a fragmented sense of identity. It doesn't sit right with you because it's a certain amount of hours coaches should have with players. It's a certain amount of drills you should be able to do. It's a certain amount of plays you should be able to play. It's like everything has a rule to it, and sometimes these rules don't always get applied. But who is the person to apply them? The enforcer. Who is the enforcer? And most of the time, the enforcer is the head coach. Most of the time, the enforcer is who the head coach puts in position to be the enforcer. And that could be a training staff, that could be a strength and conditioning coach, that could be a player. So it's like that fragmented sense of identity is very understandable because you don't really have a say-so, but you do. You understand? Like you can choose not to go up to the facility and choose to lead a team, but at the end of the day, if you want to be a part of an organization, you have to submit to the head of the organization. And that's basically what I can say Coach Brown did in Indy football. And one thing I would say, to improve cohesion and the performance of the team, it would be beneficial to further integrate participative leadership while ensuring clear expectations around discipline and performance. So basically, not being hypocrites, basically is what this is. So what I can say is like basically setting a standard that can't be withered or changed or anything like that, to basically where you have a set of commands that everyone lives up to. So ensuring clear expectations around discipline and performance in a football team, that's like one of the main things, because you can't have a team if you don't have any discipline, because football is a game and you need discipline to be able to play the game. Addressing masculine norms. The program could offer workshops or discussions about redefining masculinity in sports to help players understand their vulnerability and emotional expressions are also components of strength. This could foster a more inclusive and supportive environment that values emotional intelligence as much as physical power. So basically, I understand it because it's basically saying giving the players a voice, because in this stage, a lot of players, they feel like they don't have a voice because they feel like that they have to be in sports, or this is their only destination. They're trying to get a degree as well. So it's some things that you just have to take on the chin, just like in an everyday life. If I was working a job, if something, my boss told me I didn't like, or if my boss gave somebody else a raise before me, like I can't just up and leave a job, because that's not just the most beneficial thing at the time. So it's like you have to submit some kind of authority in any kind of organization. And that basically just sums up how balancing leadership's approaches and addressing masculine norms can overall create an identity for a team, basically with structure, with the culture of the team, with people holding each other accountable, to where I'm in I'm in a position right now to where my team, what we go through UNLV, we don't really have to deal with a lot of the coaches because we're coaching each other. We're a player-led team, and I feel like that created a voice, created a identity for us as players. So whenever we feel like our voice needs to be heard, if it doesn't change on the spot, something gets done about it, and I feel like that's something that's very important in football. So to improve the cohesion, I would say they definitely need to talk about the roles and the standards that they would like to put over their team. And this is my case study, so thank you.